Okay, it's called Applications of Logs. And spring break's coming up. So I made this slide. I actually made the next few. I was proud of them. Got good pictures. That's the steepest beach I could find, and I believe it's actually a beach in the Caribbean. And it's got super steep. Look at how steep it is. You can see this person way off in the distance. There's like one person here. There's like three people there. It's like almost like a little mountain of sand. And you would think it's because of like maybe structure off the shore, but it's not. If you're a beach person, you might be interested in this. The bigger the sand is, the steeper the beach will be. The diameter of the sand. So if you like Hawaii, where the beaches are a little steeper, you may not have thought of it this way, but they're not like super flat, just like walk right out to the water, like flat beach, flat water. Well, the water's always flat if it's calm, right? But it's not like all flat. Where is it all flat like that? How many of you guys have been to either Daytona Beach? Anybody been to Daytona Beach? All right. That one's so flat and it's super hard that they actually drive cars on it and have races out there. Another one is Fort Myers. How many of you guys have been to Fort Myers Beach? All right. Also super flat. The sand is super tiny. Like if you get it stuck to you, it's like impossible to get off of you because it's like powder. Well, that's why the beach is so flat. Okay, so beaches get steep when their sand has a larger diameter. All right, I remember looking on a Hawaiian beach one time. I took a big scoop of the sand and I looked at it really close, and it was so cool. It was like little tiny jewels. One of them was green. There's other ones that were like had like a hint of pink or red. Other ones are more kind of traditional sand color, you know. But it was just like little tiny stones. They were big, and that's why this beach is so steep. All right, so really, almost all the questions today are super easy. You just have to put the number in the right place. Do you get there's two places you could put it, S or D? And is S sand and D is diameter? No. D is diameter, but what's S? Slope. Okay, so if they tell you the sand is this, that doesn't look like a slope to me. That looks like a diameter. So then I'd put it right here, 0.25. Some people are going to put this in wrong on their calculator, but everybody try to put it in on your calculator. If you need to borrow one, this is the time when you'd come up and ask. So I would type this in exactly how you see it and put a times in there. And then this, how do you actually type that in? You just have to say log 0.25. But didn't you say you had to divide by the lower number? You know, divide by log 10? Here's why that's not necessary. Because what is log 10? Well, what's the base? It's base 10. What's log base 10 of 10? 1. You know, dividing by 1 doesn't really do anything. So those of you that just put in log 0.25 divided by log 10, you were kind of wasting your time. Because this divided by log 10 is just divided by 1. So log base 10 can go directly in your calculator as just log 0.25. The proof is in the pudding. Look and see what you have on your calculator. Share it with the kid next to you. See if you get the same thing. If not, one of you typed it in wrong. Okay. Let's get the answer. Let's pick on random person. So row 6, person 2, that's you, sir.
I got 0.08.
0.087, raise your, or I think it rounds to 0.088, right? Raise your hand if yours are around 0.088. Okay, awesome. Then the bottom part of the problem. Then, of course, they just move it so that that number is not going here. It's going here. 0.125. Can't read that, so I'll make a different color. Equals 0.159 plus 0.118 times log base 10 of D. How do I solve that? Remember, whenever you're solving equations, look to add or subtract first. Then look and see if you could multiply or divide, and you can do both of those things. First, you'd subtract this. All right, go ahead and finish that one off and get your answer. At the end, you're going to have to rewrite. The fundamental skill of logs is taking a log and turning it into an exponential to solve it. So at the end, you're going to rewrite your log base 10 as 10 to a power. I'll pause for a second while you finish. You should have subtracted 0.159. Turns the number negative. Then you should have divided both sides by 0.118. And then you had some decimal here. Equals log base 10 of D. What was this decimal that was right there? TT, back corner. I am not sure on that one. Can anybody verify that number? Okay. It's just how to say it then. Negative 0.288. Can anybody verify that number, or at least rounded? Okay, good. Then, how do I finish this thing? Let's pick on random person. Row 2, person 4. That's you, MH. To the, notice me putting in parentheses, negative 0.288 equals D. Very good, and it's a very small number. Can you tell me what it was? Is that right? Is that what you guys got? Yes, everybody's nodding their heads. Yay. Okay, so what was that? That was the D. That was the diameter of the sand. All right, actually that's kind of large for sand, but anyways. All right, now let's go to this. Decibels. The smallest decibels you can hear is a 20 decibel sound. Any quieter than that, it could be making a sound. You just can't hear it. Do you get that there are some animals that have way better hearing than us? Do you get there's some animals or birds that have way better vision than us? Like literally 10 times as good. That's kind of scary. Like from a hawk can see from like 1,000 feet, it can see like a little tiny mouse scurrying around on the ground. You'd never be able to see it. And they can totally like see it super crisp. It's amazing. Okay, for humans, we can hear 20 decibels to 2,000 decibels. Something 20 decibels would be like the quietest possible whisper. Or maybe like a fly scratching its wing with its arm. Okay, they can, ever seen that? Like their little legs scratching their wings? Okay, and that's if he was like sitting right next to your ear, because if he was across the room, you'd never hear it, right? But if you're really, really close to it. Okay, what's something that would be that loud? 2,000 decibels is close to loud enough to kill you. What? There are sounds that can kill you. I'm going to say something that's going to blow you away. I don't have the exact distance, but elephants can communicate across as far as 10 miles. That's so far away that they can't even see each other, and they can hear each other. Okay, how about this? Whales can communicate across an entire ocean. Like, you could have a whale off the coast of California that could talk to a whale that's in Japan. Or not in Japan, but like off the coast of Japan. Can you imagine that kind of a distance, how loud the sound has to be? Now granted, water is a very good conductor of sound, but I have heard it said that if you could be right there, like, I don't know, plastered to the front of the whale as it's swimming along, it would be so loud it would like break your eardrums. Except times 1,000. All right. I speak whale, you know, like Dory. Okay. Would you please find the intensity here? And, I want to give you a tip. I know you can type that in the slow way, but do you know how to type it in as 5.4? Who's got the button? Special button. EE, good job. The double E button. Negative 10. Everybody put that in and put it into this equation and get the answer. I'll pause for a second and give that a try. And that's our 12-minute warning. So a couple clarifying questions. A kid asked where you put that. You do put that here under intensity. You're going to get a decimal if you are able to pull it off, because that's complicated in there. You'll have a decimal and you do log of that and times it by 10. I'll give you this. You'll know you're on the right track. Remember, it's a whisper, right? Isn't that going to be close to the lower end of the human hearing range? 20 is the lowest you can hear. Your answer, if you did it right, should be in the 20s. Somewhere in the 20s for your decibels. Pausing for a second. Oh, so hopefully you typed that one in and you got 27, I think. Raise your hand if you got about 27. Okay, good. All right, moving on. We don't need to do all of these, but I do want to mention the pH scale is another classic log. You guys all know that 7 is water, and that when you get really small numbers, I hope you know that that's acidic, and bigger numbers, those are basic. All right, so Clorox bleach, for example, is in the picture in the background there. It's extremely bad for you to like drink because it's like really rough on beings. Well, it also kills viruses. So Clorox is all sold out at Target, but I got one of the last bottles. So if anybody like sneezes on their desk, I can kill off the viruses. Okay, so if you put a number there, it's the same thing over again. You either put the number here and you find the log, but wait, there's one thing that's a twist. You see that negative in front? This negative right here? That's going to mess with some of you because you're not going to like know what to do with it. Hint, you need to get rid of it because you can't rewrite till you get rid of that negative somehow. And you can't just like scribble it out. That's not an option for getting rid of it. So would you please put 0.0008 right there and see if you can do this the easy way, which is just type it in like normal. But then the one where you have to get rid of the negative, that's this one. And that's much harder. Okay, so this one's just type it in, do it quick, see what you get. That should just take 2 seconds. Compare your answer with the kid sitting next to you, see if you got the same thing. All right, that's a 3 there. I apologize. I could have swore it was an 8, but it was a 3. Sorry. Put a 3 there. I wrote over the 8 and it turned into a 3 in my head somehow because I covered up it made it look like a snowman. See? Now it looks, anyway. Okay. Who put it in with the 3? Raise your hand. AS in the back row, what'd you get? Anybody verify 3.52? Okay, good. Then we're moving on to this one. Everybody put the 11 in. It's for the pH that's here. And this is that more challenging, like, how do you get rid of that negative thing? I'll pause for a second while you solve this one. Okay, let's get that part over with. This negative here, you could have multiplied both sides by a negative and that would have fixed it. Negative 11 equals log base 10 of this h. And then you just do a rewrite. 10 to the negative 11th is your answer. It equals that. So 10 to the negative 11th. But I want to show you an outside-the-box way of thinking of that. A lot of people don't know this, but that little negative 1 that would be in the front could go up as a power here. That'd be another way to get rid of it. Do you guys remember that? That a number in the front can go up as a power on the argument, and then it isn't here anymore. And then you could do the rewrite. But the problem is you'll end up having to do 10 to the 11th equals h to the negative 1, and you'll have to put it to the power of negative 1. So it's not like it's better. It adds an extra step, in fact. So it's not better, but the answer is still 10 to the negative 11th. I just wanted to show you that. All right, now your homework has a bunch of application questions. And those application questions are pretty typical of what we'd have on the test. Honestly, they're not super hard. So I'm going to have you skip 3 of them, problems 3, 4, and 5. So on your homework, you may skip problems 3, 4, and 5. And there's a couple graphs at the end. I want to turn your attention to those just because I think those are actually harder. They have a couple review problems on here. Make sure you're reviewing because we're starting to get close to the test here. I think the plan right now is to have the test on either Wednesday or Thursday. I think it's Thursday. And then I'm going to follow it up with the top 20 on Friday. So you'll have homework the night of the test, which is to just study for a top 20. The top 20, most of you have been exposed to it plenty of times by now, but it's time to study for that thing and put it in the summative. Those things are super important for your mathematical health in here. So, all right, that's all I got for the video for